Well, I saw in the news yesterday that NATO has decided to send F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. I saw in another report that Zelensky was saying that they needed these to attack air bases that are in Russia. And in that regard, he may also have been talking about some of the long-range missiles and stuff that he's been asking for. But nonetheless, irrespective of some of all those details, the general principle that's being exemplified is a total disregard for the fact that when Putin and Russia say they have red lines, that means something compared to America's expectation that when our leaders say there are red lines, it really doesn't mean anything. And so the degree to which we are in the midst of this turmoil in the Democratic Party with President Biden and whether or not he's going to be fit to serve another 4 years, if he is in fact the Democratic nominee and wins, with President Biden, and whether or not he is in fact even fit to serve now as the NATO summit is underway here in Washington. And I believe this is Thursday, July 11th, and tonight there's supposed to be the news conference, which is supposed to answer a lot of questions. Although, frankly, I can't understand how a 90-minute debate in which the president was clearly unable to articulate a position on any topic. I don't understand how even one time that happening could be considered satisfactory for the president of the United States, let alone the implication that is now coming out that has been obvious to most folks who have watched him and watched how he has been handled during his presidency, that actually is more par for the course than not. Everything that's happened since then, I would suggest, only emphasizes the fact that he is not fit to lead. But apart from that, the policies that have been implemented under President Biden, particularly with respect to how we handle international affairs and our affairs overseas, have done nothing but move the U.S. further towards setting the stage for World War III, for perhaps a nuclear conflict, after which there probably won't be any worry about another world war. The degree to which the foreign affairs have been handled with military might rather than diplomatic efforts and efforts to form bonds on the basis of shared interest, be that business, economic, cultural, religious, etc., has been a downfall in American foreign policy for decades now. And the degree to which the same leaders who have been positioning the U.S. as a source of munitions and destruction around the world for the last 40 to 50 years is further exemplified by this declaration that nations are sending F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. Now, it seems to me like America ought to be more worried about what is happening with our defense budget. It's called defense, but in fact, our defense is more offensive than defensive, and we ought to be exerting more influence on how, in fact, our munitions are being distributed and used around the world, rather than just assuming that our political leaders have our best interest and the world's best interest in mind. So anyway, just wanted to comment real quickly on the debacle and what I think will be a devastating decision to allow the F-16 jets to be sent to Ukraine, something that was not supposed to be allowed when we initially started supporting Ukraine, and just hope that more rational minds come to the fore and move post haste to try to resolve this conflict, not only to prevent the continuing destruction of Ukraine, but to prevent this from escalating to a European theater-wide and a worldwide catastrophic war. Thank you all very much. Look forward to hearing what you have to say. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for your time. I've got a couple other videos listed here if you'd like to take a look at those, and as I'd like to discuss issues related to politics, religion, society, and how in the world we're supposed to understand ourselves and life in the world. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.